Am I the a-hole for refusing to sleep in the same house as my fiancé after what I found in his backpack? So for context, I am engaged to my fiancé Evan. We've been together almost 4 years and honestly, things have always been really normal. Until last week. Evan works as an EMT, and he's usually super open about his day. But recently, he's been coming home acting weirdly quiet, checking his phone non-stop, and guarding his backpack like it's made of gold. I thought maybe he was stressed or dealing with a heavy case, so I didn't push it. Well, 3 nights ago he took a shower and left his backpack on the couch. It was unzipped. And listen, I never snoop. But right at the top was this small, black notebook with a red elastic band wrapped around it. I'd never seen it before. And yeah, curiosity won. I opened it. The first page had my name written at the top in all caps. Underneath it was a list titled Observations. Some were harmless. Prefers coffee over tea. Always double checks door locks. Sleep schedule inconsistent. But then it got creepy. Avoids discussing mother. Cried in car after phone call 117th. Unusually jumpy around loud noises. Potential trauma response. I flipped more pages. There were dates. Times. Direct quotes of things I'd said. Even notes on my facial expressions during arguments. My stomach dropped. But the absolute worst part. A page titled, Possible Triggers Confirm. At this point I heard the shower turn off and I panicked. I shoved the notebook back and acted like I was just scrolling my phone. Evan came out, saw his backpack and immediately asked in this suspicious tone, "Did you look through my stuff?" I said no, but he kept staring at me like he was analysing my micro-expressions. That night I couldn't sleep. Who keeps a detailed behavioural log of their partner? The next morning I tried to bring it up casually, like, "Hey, is everything okay with work?" But he just said, "You'll understand soon." Understand WAT. That was my breaking point. I packed a bag and left for my sister's house. Now Evan keeps texting me saying, I don't trust him, and that the notebook was for something important and good, but he won't explain anything. My sister thinks it's serial killer behavior. My best friend thinks maybe he's planning something like a proposal or therapy project. I don't know what to think. Okay. So, I finally confronted Evan. I texted him that I wanted a real explanation, and that unless he told me the truth, I wasn't coming home. He called me immediately, and I swear he sounded terrified. He begged me to meet him in person. My sister insisted on coming with me, so we met in a coffee shop. Evan showed up with the black notebook in his hands. Before I could even speak, he said, "Please, just listen. It's not what you think." He opened the notebook to a page I hadn't seen. At the top was a header. Project Safe House. He explained that for the last 2 months, he's been part of a pilot program through his MT union. They're creating a system to help first responders identify patterns of hidden trauma in domestic abuse victims, especially the ones who deny it or don't realize it's happening. He said the notebook was a training tool, and he'd been practicing the skills on someone he trusted. Me. Because asking traumatized strangers would be unethical. He kept repeating, "I wasn't diagnosing you. I wasn't judging you. I just needed practice recognizing patterns." My sister was furious. "So you used her as a study subject without telling her?" He said he wanted to tell me, but the program rules said participants couldn't explain the purpose until the trial ended, because knowing they're being observed would invalidate the test. He apologized like 1,000 times and swore he would burn the notebook if it made me uncomfortable. But here's where things got even weirder. There was a page at the back with my mom's name, and under it, incident reports, hospital visit 2008, behavioral parallels. I froze and asked what that meant. Evan said, "I wasn't trying to pry. I just noticed things you do that match the patterns. They taught us." Flinching at yelling, apologizing for everything, avoiding certain topics. My sister's eyes went wide, because she knows some stuff about our childhood that I've tried to forget. Suddenly, the creepy notes didn't feel creepy. They felt accurate. Comma. I didn't know whether to scream at him or hug him. Before I could react, Evan said, "You deserve to understand everything. There's something you don't know about your family." And then he said he needed to show me something, in person, at my parents' old house. So, I agreed to go with Evan and my sister to my parents' old house. It's been empty for years. We moved out when I was 14. And I haven't been back since. Just pulling up made my chest tight. The house looked smaller than I remembered. And darker. Evan walked us to the back hallway. The one that always felt cold, even in summer. He pointed to a weird spot on the drywall. A rectangle that didn't match the rest of the paint. He said, "Your mum filed a report in 2008, saying you tripped and hit your head on a doorknob. But the empt notes from that night don't match. They mention something about a structural impact." My sister went pale. She whispered, "Oh my God." She hid it. Evan took out his phone flashlight and showed, US tiny holes along the edge of the wall. Screws that had been painted over. He said, "This is patched over. Something used to be here." We started peeling the paint. Underneath was a large outline. Of a cabinet. A heavy one. And suddenly a memory hit me so hard I felt dizzy. My mom screaming. My dad slamming something shut. Me crying on the floor. I'd blocked it out for years. My sister burst into tears. "You weren't clumsy," she said. "They pushed it into you." Evan gently held my hand and said he suspected the notebook might help me recognize the patterns. I never processed that my reactions weren't random quirks. They were trauma responses I learned as a kid. And honestly, everything clicked. The flinching. The panic attacks. The hyper-awareness. Evan wasn't studying me. He was trying to understand me. So he could help me. I apologized for freaking out. And he apologized for not telling me sooner. We're doing therapy, real therapy, together now. And the notebook. We kept it. Not as an experiment. But as proof that healing sometimes starts in the weirdest, most uncomfortable places. So, am I the a-hole? I don't think so. Just scared. And healing.